Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into something quite vital, looking at family law, judicial authority, and, importantly, professional responsibility.
Yes.
Our sources for this deep dive focus on a significant legal case, one that truly highlights the seriousness of court orders, especially when children are involved.
Indeed. And our mission today is to carefully unpack the complexities surrounding contempt of court and perjury, specifically within parenting disputes.
We're using a particular case as our anchor, PDV Z.L.V.
That's right. It serves as a powerful illustration, really, of why complying with judicial authority isn't just an administrative detail. It's actually a fundamental pillar for protecting children's welfare and, crucially, maintaining the integrity of our justice system. You'll find this case highlights both the letter and, perhaps more importantly, the spirit of the law in action. It offers some critical takeaways.
Okay, let's unpack this specific situation then, because it does sound compelling.
Yeah.
The sources detail this case, TBVZLV, which brought several critical issues right to the forefront. At its core, it involved a respondent who significantly is a practicing attorney, found to have violated a court-ordered parenting plan quite substantially.
Yes, and what's quite striking here is how direct the contravention was. This parenting plan wasn't merely a guideline, it was specifically designed to ensure the applicant's rights to contact with the children.
Right, and presumably for the children's benefit too.
Absolutely. Crucially, to uphold the children's best interests. That's always paramount. Yet the respondent traveled abroad, the sources mention Mauritius, Mozambique, and Reunion specifically,
Okay.
without giving any prior notice to the applicant, the other parent.
So this wasn't just, say, a forgotten email. It sounds more deliberate.
Well, the effect was profound. It directly frustrated the established arrangements, the routine contact vital for the children's relationship with their father. The court records actually showed the children were out of the country for quite some time during these trips. The father had no idea.
That paints a clearer picture.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a simple logistical mix-up then.
Doesn't seem so.
The sources indicate this act really disrupted that scheduled contact, which is so vital for the children's stability and their bond with their father. And what adds another layer of concern, I think, is how the court's scrutiny intensified. Apparently, the respondent initially denied these trips.
That's correct. Denied them initially, only to admit the contempt later on.
That suggests a serious breach, doesn't it? Not just of the legal order, but of trust. It feels like it fundamentally undermines the whole judicial process.
Precisely. It moves beyond a simple misunderstanding or disagreement over logistics. It speaks to a deliberate disregard, arguably, for a court order designed explicitly for the children's welfare.
And you mentioned the respondent as a practicing attorney. Why is that detail so significant here?
Well, it's profoundly significant. Her behavior directly contradicts the professional duty that attorneys have to uphold court orders. This isn't just any individual breaching an order, it's someone who is, by definition, an officer of the court. So it delves into much more serious territory. It implicates her professional integrity, the ethical standards we expect from lawyers.
They're meant to uphold the law, aren't they?
Exactly. They are entrusted with the fabric of justice itself. So when someone who has taken an oath to uphold the law actively defies a court order, especially one concerning children, well, the ripple effects go far beyond the immediate case.
It makes you question the trustworthiness of the profession itself, in a way.
It can certainly raise those concerns.
And this is where it gets even more complex, according to the sources.
Yeah.
Her culpability wasn't just about violating the parenting plan. It escalated.
Yes, it escalated quite dramatically into perjury.
Oh, jury, so lying under oath.
Correct. Specifically under the Justices of the Peace and Commissioner of Oaths Act, Act 16 of 1963.
Okay, for listeners perhaps not familiar with South African specifics, what does that act govern?
Essentially, it's the core legislation that outlines how sworn statements, like affidavits, are made and the legal weight they carry. Her false statements in an affidavit, a written statement made under oath, transformed what started as a civil contempt issue
Into a criminal offense.
Precisely. And that's a very, very serious distinction in law.
Can you elaborate on that difference? Civil versus criminal contempt.
Certainly. So civil contempt usually arises from failing to comply with a court order. The aim is often to compel the person to comply. Think of it as coercive.
Okay.
Criminal contempt, however, is seen as a direct offense against the dignity and authority of the court itself. It often involves deceit, like lying under oath or obstructing justice.
So her actions, the false statements under oath, pushed it from a failure to follow the plan into that criminal realm.
Exactly. It moved beyond the civil breach of the parenting plan to a criminal offense because of those false statements. And such misconduct, well, it doesn't just reflect poorly on her personally, it raises profound concerns about the fidelity, the trustworthiness of the legal profession as a whole.
Because the expectation is higher for lawyers.
It is, yes. The expectation of adherence to court orders is particularly high for those who practice law. They are, after all, entrusted with upholding the principles of justice. When a legal professional commits perjury, it strikes right at the heart of the judicial system's ability to find the truth and deliver fair outcomes.
How can a court function if it can't rely on the honesty of its own officers?
That's the fundamental question it raises.
That distinction really underscores the severity. And the court's ruling in this case, TVV Z.L.V, certainly seems to reflect that gravity.
It does.
The sources state the ruling included a suspended custodial sentence and a referral for further investigation. Can you break that down?
Sure, a suspended custodial sentence means a jail sentence was indeed handed down, but it's held in abeyance, put on hold, essentially.
Like probation.
Similar, yes. It hangs over the person, provided they meet certain conditions and, crucially, don't commit further offenses within a specified period. It's a very serious warning.
A clear deterrent.
Absolutely. It emphasizes the potential for severe consequences if such actions are repeated.
And the referral for further investigation, where would that typically go?
In this context, it would almost certainly be to the relevant professional body, like the Legal Practice Council in South Africa. They would then investigate her conduct to assess her fitness to continue practicing law, given the serious ethical breach and the perjury.
So the consequences were significant, reflecting how seriously these breaches, especially involving perjury by an attorney, are viewed.
Indeed. And given the history of the breaches in this case, the court felt punitive measures were absolutely necessary, not just for punishment, but as a deterrent. This case strongly highlights the urgent need for robust mechanisms to actually enforce compliance with parenting plans. It's not enough to just have the plan on paper.
It needs teeth.
It needs teeth, exactly. This isn't just about punishing a parent who missteps. It's about creating a framework that actively protects children. When these plans are disregarded, it's not just the parents' rights affected, it's the stability and well-being of the children, who are often the most vulnerable.
The court's firm stance really reinforces that these orders are mandatory, not optional suggestions.
Absolutely. And what's quite insightful from the ruling, reading between the lines, perhaps, is this push towards proactive measures. It seems to ask, how do we move beyond just reacting to breaches and actually prevent them, especially in complex situations like cross-border travel or when professional obligations are involved?
So it's about evolving enforcement strategies.
I think so, ensuring children aren't caught in the crossfire.
Okay, stepping back then, what does this all mean for the wider legal landscape? How does a case like this resonate beyond just TV and Z.L.V? Particularly for legal professionals, does it create a sort of chilling effect or maybe a renewed sense of responsibility?
Well, it certainly serves as a crucial precedent. It reinforces accountability, especially among legal professionals in these kinds of situations. It reiterates the absolute necessity for strict adherence to court orders, not just for the children immediately involved, important as that is,
Right.
but also to maintain the foundational integrity of the entire legal process. It sends a clear signal,
That no one is above the law.
precisely, regardless of profession, and that orders concerning children's welfare will be robustly enforced to protect those who can't protect themselves. For lawyers, it's a stark reminder of the ethical duties that underpin their practice.
Duties beyond just representing their client.
Yes, duties to the court, to the administration of justice itself, upholding the pillars of the system. It emphasizes that it's about more than just knowing the law. It's about respecting it and fundamentally telling the truth under oath.
So this case strengthens the court's hand in ensuring accountability.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Which is vital for fostering a just environment for families navigating difficult separations or divorces.
Our deep dive into TVV Z.L.V really does illustrate just how deeply connected legal compliance, professional ethics, and most importantly, the welfare of children are.
Mm.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it, that court orders aren't just suggestions. They are legally binding directives with profound implications.
Absolutely. And this case invites you, the listener, to consider not just the immediate fallout of noncompliance, but also the fundamental responsibility we all have, perhaps especially those within the legal fraternity, to uphold the framework of justice.
It leaves us with a thought, perhaps.
Yes, it raises a compelling question, something to ponder.
Hmm.
How might the unwavering enforcement of precedents like this further strengthen the fabric of family law? And, by extension, how might it bolster societal trust in our judicial processes, particularly now, in an age where cross-border movement is so common?
A complex interplay indeed.
It is, between personal responsibility and systemic integrity. In this case, TVV Z.L.V offers a very clear, very impactful lens through which to view it.